Anyways, so it's officially November 3rd, 2017. My entire family is dead, including Dale T, even though he's still breathing technically. He's dead to me, so fuck him. And I'm sitting here playing Mario Odyssey. It just came out on the 27th. And for some reason, I don't know why, and this happens quite regularly. Now, I don't know if what I'm about to explain happens to other people on a regular basis, but it happens to me quite often. I mean, to the point of writing 3 books about it. But every now and again, things that I had blocked out of my mind because they were so fucking insane and just crazy come rushing back into my memory. And as I'm sitting there playing this game, just out of the blue, I have this recall of Graham. Now, keep in mind, my grandmother has been dead for 4 years. Although technically she was dead longer than that, because actually it's been about 7 years, because she spent a little over 3 years in the nursing home, and she was basically dead to me because I didn't go see her. Okay, once they took her away, it was kind of the end of it. So she's technically been dead to me since like 2010. Although it was late 2010, but neither here nor there. But she didn't officially die until about 3 years later. So it was about 2013. September 2013. And this story was, so we're talking what, we're talking at least 8 years. It was at least 8 years ago. It's almost a decade, this story, and it just popped into my head. I wanted to title this Graham and the Hare, but I want to spell it like the rabbit hare. Graham and the Hare, kind of like the turtle and the hare, but much, much slower. Let me take you back. Graham was an avid radio listener. Like, she'd be up around 7, 8 o'clock, whatever it was. She's up early. She's the old farming gal. She's up at the crack of dawn. She's literally cracking ass, but she's up in it basically. She's up in it. She's making the tea. She's got the toast. She's doing it all in the morning. And she'd flip on her little radio. Now, there was this asshole on the radio his name's Kenny Young. Now, I'll be honest with you, just for the sake of argument, I don't think this was Kenny Young necessarily, but I'm going to blame him because that's the big name up and around here. My other grandmother, Dale T's mother, used to go up with Kenny Young and all those guys up the Seaville up there to go dancing, and all that bullshit. So I'm blaming Kenny Young for all of this because he's an asshole. Now, I don't know if he's actually an asshole, but he's an asshole for the sake of this story. Okay, he's more of a collective asshole. He might be a nice guy. I'm sure he is. I'm sure all the cousins who would maybe read this story be like, oh, Kenny Young's great. Whatever. He might be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but for the sake of the story, he's an asshole. So he's the asshole. He's Kenny Young. He's the asshole on the radio. So my grandmother listens to this asshole on the radio. And now, to be fair, I don't even know if he's on in the morning. Basically, when you think of Kenny Young, think of Paul Harvey with no talent. Okay, think Paul Harvey with no positive message. Think upstate New York Paul Harvey. Think hillbilly Paul Harvey. Think white trash Paul Harvey. Basically think Paul Harvey and then think the exact opposite of Paul Harvey. And this is what you're getting with Kenny Young. I'm not like disparaging what he does or anything like that, but he's no Paul Harvey basically. But think Paul Harvey, just not in a good way. So he'll come on every morning. Now, whether he's on actually in the morning or not, I don't care. For the sake of the story, he is the radio talent. Okay. Anyways, my grandmother would listen to these programs and shit. Well, apparently there was some sort of DIY kind of thing, do-it-yourself bullshit. And they told my grandmother, my 80 plus year old, barely competent, barely sane grandmother, that putting human hair around your plants would make them grow better. That's all Graham needed. That's all she needed to be set off onto this journey of insanity. That's all she needed. To hear it on the radio, it had to be gold. Boom. She got into, like that second, like she got dressed and hopped into her 1992 red Buick. And she drove down to the beauty salon and asked the woman if she could have a bag of hair. Now, hear the words. Hear the words. Comprehend the words. A bag of fucking hair. Human fucking hair from the beauty salon. And the woman's like, okay, sure, why not? Now, for 3 goddamn days, my grandmother carried this bag. Now, you get a picture of a plastic white Walmart bag filled to the brim, and I mean to the brim, with human fucking hair. She carried around and go, Peter, it's human hair, Peter. Peter, it's human hair, Peter. Peter, it's human hair. And I'm like, Graham, I don't even want to touch the shit. It's other people's fucking hair, and it's been sitting in the back of your Buick in the trunk for God knows how long. She's had it for months. Dude, we were driving around upstate fucking New York. Hear the words. Driving around upstate New York with a bag of human hair in the trunk. A bag of goddamn human hair, dude. If we had been pulled over and searched for any reason, you gotta understand, she's 80 fucking plus years old. She could have had an accident, any number of things. Were you drinking? Were you fucking fucked in the head? Whatever. Let's search the back. And they pull out this bag of human hair. Dude, they would have shot us. They would have shot us for being like occultic assholes or some shit. There's Graham. Peter, the bag of hair, Peter. Human hair, Peter. And she always had to say human hair. She couldn't just say hair. It had to be human hair. It just sounded so freaky. And she's just running around with this bag, like Linus in the blanket. Like you'd see Linus carrying the blanket. She'd have this thing under her arm. Peter, human hair, Peter. I gotta put it on my plants, Peter. Kenny Young told me to put it under my plants, Peter. And I'm like, holy Christ. Are you... Dude, these people on the radio have to be a little more sensitive to old people in their insanities. Especially people like my grandmother. Because, now, you gotta understand, I didn't know my grandmother when she was sane. I knew the old crazy lady that was my grandmother. I knew that woman. I got to know her. And, now, she probably was always... But you have to assume, I just have to assume that with younger age came a little more sensibility. I don't know about that because it was my grandmother. But when she started getting like really old, like over the hill, like to the point she's down in the gully. Dude, she went off the fucking deep end. Like completely, like off the fucking reservation. So I don't even know. There's not even any more story to tell about this. There's not even any more part of this that needs to be said. So I think I'm going to commit this to writing. I'm going to try to make it into a story. I don't know how. I don't know how, but I'm going to try. I'm going to do my damnedest to make this into a story, because this story needs to be in the book. This story needs to be told. This needs to be given to the world. I need to like wrap this up in a little blanket and put a little bow on it and hand it to the world, because 87-year-old woman driving around with human hair in the back of her trunk in upstate New York for like no reason, like none at all. And I'm trying to picture the conversation my grandmother had going to the beauty salon saying, "Can I have a bag of hair?" Because I picture it in my head. And she even told the story, and the woman is kind of like reluctant because it's fucked up. I mean, it's just straight fuck. Who in the balls would say that on the radio? And I'm sorry, these radio people, they need to get it. They need to understand that there are senile old fucking people out there who don't know any better. Now, I say senile because my grandmother had a bag of fucking hair, dude. There's no other recourse. She had a bag of fucking human hair. There was no, hear me. She had a bag of human fucking hair. There's no coming back from that. There's no coming back from that. You can't say, yeah, you are completely 100% sane, Graham. You're on the fucking up and up on that one. Okay, you can't do it. Nobody can do that. She had a bag of goddamn hair. And then, not only that, but she had to accentuate it by saying human hair every fucking time. Peter, it's human hair, Peter. And I'm like, no, Graham, it's not. Leave it be. It's nasty. And since she wanted me to touch it, and I'm like, no, I'm not touching human hair. I'm not touching that shit. I don't know how long it's been in your fucking trunk. It's nasty. It's fucking nasty, Graham. It was a big bag, too. It was full. Okay, you got a picture of those Walmart bags full of, like, soft, downy, like hair, and it was gray and black and blonde and just holy fucking shit. And we're, I mean, because you gotta understand, I went shopping with her a few times. So every time I'd put my stuff in the back, it would be this bag of human hair, and I was like, no, you put it on your side, Graham. I'm gonna put my stuff over here. And she put her stuff over there, so her human hair and her groceries were all mingled together. And no. And then she wanted me to go get the human hair. And I'm like, I ain't touching the human hair. Fuck you. I ain't touching that shit. I'm not touching human fucking hair. It's a bag. It's. I'm not touching that shit. You want to give me some fucking gloves? You want to give me? You want to sanitize this shit? We'll talk. Until then, I ain't touching it. Now, I'm not like phobic about it or anything like that. It's just, it was just insane. It was just legitimately fucked up. I mean, you can't paint the rosy red picture on this one. Human fucking hair. Human hair. It's a bag of human hair. I keep saying it because it's like my mind does not register that. I have to keep telling myself, Peter, a bag of human hair, Peter. I have to keep hearing Graham's voice say that. I have to keep thinking that because it's like there's just no goddamn way it's even remotely possible that it ever happened. Like I'm making it up. I feel like I'm making it up, but I know deep down inside it was a true story because I was there. I was there. I witnessed it. I was a part of it, and it just... I literally blocked it out. How do you block out your old senile grandmother running around fucking upstate New York with a bag of human hair? How do you block that shit out? Yeah, for 8 years I blocked that shit out, dude. I had never thought of it until this second. Until this fucking day. I had not thought of it. Is it registering? I don't think it's registering. I really genuinely don't think you get it. I think you might try to. I think it might like just. It's at the tip. It's edging and it's like, and it's just. But it's not there. You're not getting it. Human fucking hair. Oh my god! You got to picture a short, squatty little Polish woman who's been a farmer her entire life, upstate New York. Driving around in a 92 Buick that is still pristine because she doesn't go anywhere. Because you gotta understand, this was like one of those old school cars. It ain't like these new ones where you got the power windows and shit. No, you had to crank that shit, okay? There was none of this little flip lock stuff. No, we're talking like the old antenna ones that would pop up and you had to push it down to locks. Okay. There was none of this power door opening stuff. Okay, you had to go out back and you had to flip the little thing and stick the key in there, and and the thing would just come up with like one big chunk of fucking metal in the back, and like you. I mean, there's literally a tire iron, an old tire, and a bag of fucking human hair. I think there was like some old rag back there for fucking some odd reason. Oh my god. And it's just, so I think about all those times. Because we would go, because she loved to take Lucy. Lucy would like to get in the car. Because you gotta understand, when I was evicted, I had to come live with her. No, not technically live with her, but she had a legitimate apartment upstairs. So I was renting the apartment from her upstairs. So we were kind of in cahoots together, more so than I would have normally been able to handle. But that whole time, my whole mindset was just like, okay, so it's like I kind of went with the flow on that one, because if I thought about the fact that my mother was dead, my father's remarried, my stepmother's a bitch, I was evicted from my family home, never allowed to return again. I was accused of peeing on her shoes. I was accused of peeing on my stepmother's shoes. That in itself is a story. And I was evicted, and I had literally nowhere else to go except for like a cardboard box down at the fucking docks. Aside from that, I had to go rent an apartment from my grandmother, which I'll make it even sound worse. I had to go live with my grandmother. Okay, now I'm 30 years old. Now having spina bifida, and the fact that everything fucking hurts, and the fact that it wasn't even out of high school before I started herniating fucking discs, and it's a miracle I could fucking walk even to this day, and the whole thing, yeah. So you accompany all of that. So whenever I had to go to store, we'd go like once or twice a week. Sometimes we go maybe 3 times a month, once a week. Me and Graham would truck down the road. Now, luckily, the store was like right down there. We didn't have to go very far. But she would drive, because I physically can't drive. She had to drive me. This is before she hurt herself, before she broke her hip, before she went down, before everything went downhill. So that was a year before she went to the nursing home. So it had to be around 2008-ish before that. So between 2007, late 2007, 2008, and most of 2009, or part of 2009. So you're talking about 2.5 years, give or take. Yeah, actually about 2 years, whatever. Her and I would, and then she'd want to bring Lucy, because Lucy was a good dog. So I would be sitting in the back, like, and Graham would be the chauffeur. Now get the picture, 80-year-old Polish woman, Peter, and I'm in the back holding the dog. Dog's on my lap, the window's down. The dog's got her head sticking out the window. Her lips and tongues are blah, 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 flapping in the wind. Ears are just blah, 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 flapping in the back. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is not my life. This is not my life. And what would happen is every time I went into the store, because Graham would sit in the car, unless she needed something, but she would basically go for me, and believe me, I respect that on multiple levels, and the whole nine, and I'm grateful and all that stuff. But holy shit! And then what would happen is I would leave the dog in the back, and of course I would leave, and Lucy was one of those kind of dogs where, like, if I was out of sight, she would cry and be like, wee, wee, wee. And so she's in the back crying, and Graham's like, no, Lucy, no, Lucy, no, because she was kind of playing it up too, because like, it didn't bother her necessarily, because but she thought it was cute that she would cry when I left, and when I came back, she'd get all excited. So she enjoyed that, even though Lucy would whine and cry for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. So that was the backstory to all of that. Now you put that all together, and then we're driving around with human hair. So we got the dog in the back, we got me on the thing, Graham is riding, and she's riding dirty, and bag of human hair in the fucking back seat. Oh my god! I mean, somewhere between the Perry's ice cream and the nightly newspaper, there was a bag of fucking hair, and it's just, oh my Christ! Oh, dude. Just, oh, it's like, you understand, this is my family, this is the kith and kin, this is and it ain't getting any better, and it's like, this is what you have to work with, and it's, no, I know I do some things that are probably questionable, and probably could fit into a story very similar to this, where if somebody came in, it'd be like, holy shit, he did this, this, and this, because you don't see those kind of things, you don't see it from yourself, you see it from other people, but holy fucking shit, bag of human hair. Dude, it was one time, Graham, fucking, when I first moved out here, she was convinced that my father was going to come to his senses, leave the stepmother, and come out here and live with us. He was gonna live upstairs with me, in what she called the green room, which was on the other side of he was gonna live over there, and then he could work at the wire mill, the local wire mill that's like right around the corner. And Graham took me on a fucking tour of Boonville. I mean, we went up to the cemetery, we went over by Burger King, we went around the back. There's Owl Wire over there or something like that. And we sat in the Owl Wire parking lot and said, this is where your father's going to work. This is where your father could work when he leaves that bitch. And we sat there like 10 minutes just looking at the place. And she's like, this is a good place. He'll have a good time here. As soon as he leaves that bitch. Oh my god. And she was convinced too. This wasn't like, imagine if your father, if something happened and he had to, it wasn't like imagine it. It was, no, your father's going to come to his senses finally, come back home, so to speak. He's going to come back, and he's like the prodigal son. Graham thought Dale T was the prodigal fucking son, and he was going to come home and he was going to get right with Jesus and the whole nine. And he was going to live with us and work at Owl Wire. And she was convinced. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. This was destiny. This was going to happen, and that's how she acted. Now, I don't know if she was being serious. She was serious. I mean, the tones that she used were serious as far as I could tell. Now, I don't know if she was fucking with me. I don't think she was, because she wasn't like that. She wasn't like somebody who would just troll you. I mean, her whole life was a troll, but I mean, in the actual, like, vindictive sense, like, she wasn't that kind of person to be like, she didn't even understand what that kind of stuff was like. So to sit there and do that, and again, we took the fucking tour. Now, if you know anything about this area, there's a certain tour that, like, if your family member died, and the hearse goes from Trainer Funeral Home, and it goes like through town. Like, it literally has to go through the entire town. And there's like this almost like parade of cars and hearses and shit going up to the cemetery. And you literally have to go through almost the entire town to do it. This is what this was like. This is what I felt like. I literally felt like I was in the middle of like in the back of the hearse with a casket. I was inside the casket looking out. Like imagine if there had been like a big opening. Like at the top of the casket had been open, and I was looking out through the window of the hearse. The only difference is, instead of, death and the angel of death driving, it was Graham. Which, I mean, all she needed was like a black outfit and a sickle, and it was like, holy fucking shit. So her and I are driving around town, taking the same procession route that the caskets in a hearse do, because sometimes you'll be driving through and you'll have to stop at the light, and you'll see this big long line of cars, and people have respect and they kind of wait. That's what it was like. Except nobody was waiting for us. Nobody had respect. They weren't just sitting at the stoplight waiting for us to go through. Like we had to wait our turn, and it was one of the weirdest fucking days. Well, believe me, there have been numerous, but it was one of the weirdest fucking days. Like at the very beginning of coming here. Which I understand, I'm kind of new to the town. She's going to show me around. And like, oh, this is where your father's going to work. This is, your father, you and your father can take Lucy to the park. And you see those stones. Every time we drove by that fucking park, she had to tell me every single time. Because what they did is when they were digging up shit here on the farm, they had these flat stones or some shit or whatever it was. Well, they donated them to the park. So they have these outline of like stones and shit, these flat stones. And every single time we drive by, oh, Peter, your grandfather and I, we donated those. And I'm like, I know, Graham, you tell me every fucking time. It's just... I mean, they're just things you block out of your mind. They're literal things. Now, again, I don't know if people block stuff out like on a regular basis, but for me, the entire... Dude, you gotta understand, 99% of the original book was just blocked out shit that just kind of came to me one day, and it was like, oh, I gotta start writing about it, and I gotta start... This was another one of those. This was absolutely another one of those moments where it was like, holy Jesus in the fucking morning, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me with this shit? I mean... And these people on the radio, like I said, they motherfucker, you gotta be more responsive to your audience, because you gotta be kidding me. There's old fucking people who don't know any better, who listen to that, oh, put human hair around your fucking plants. Are you fucking kidding me? You give me a break. You got old senile old women with fucking human hair in their fucking trunk. And I know Graham probably wasn't the only one, although she probably was. Who the fuck knows? Like, if somebody said to me, okay, you gotta understand, that sun porch was littered with fucking plants. She had 50 plants, no joke. She had like 50 of them. Because there's this whole string of windows out there, the sun porch. And like, every nook and cranny was just covered with flowers. It was just plants and flowers and shit, and it was just all over the place. Like, she had flowers, honest to Christ, she had flowers all around the house. Every month, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, even, I think, maybe not October. No, I think there was something in October. Something would bloom once a month, literally, no joke. It was tulips, it was daisies of the morning and lilies of the night and fuck you in the afternoon. She had it all. And literally every fucking... There was the snowballs. I hated those goddamn things because they were too close to the porch, and I would sit out there with the dog, and it's just, especially like in late August and September when they started to rot, because it's just, they were nice and they were like aromatic while they were good, but then they would start to rot, and they would go from like white to this pasty yellow, and it smelled like dead burning leaves and shit. I mean, it sounded like a fucking Typo Negative song. It was horrible. Burning leaves. Yeah, that fucking song. A perfume smells like burning leaves. Seriously. Fuck you. That's what it smelled like. It smelled like burnt ass. And so she was the plant connoisseur, okay? I remember shit, dude. I remember back in the 80s. She insisted my mother take what I can't remember what they're called. They're like I forgot what they're called, but there's these big stocky motherfuckers that have these little white, like bell-shaped I can't remember what they're called. I would know it if I heard it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. And she cut off a couple pieces and told my mother to plant them outside the kitchen window. And she did, and these fucking things would grow like weeds every fucking year. And they were these tall, stocky things. Like, they would grow from the ground up to the window. They were huge. And I hated them. And then she had them outside, and it's just out by the porch, and it's just everywhere. And again, they're fine to a degree, but what happened is they would fall over because they were top heavy. And then Graham would have me, you understand, I got a bad fucking back. She'd have me go down the steps. Now you gotta understand, those steps on the porch, like leading from the porch to the ground outside, they were uneven. So like that first step was like a dilly, because it wasn't, the steps were too small for the land, the area that they were in. So like the first 3 steps were like, okay, no big problem. But that last step was like almost double, maybe even close to 3 times higher than what the actual steps themselves were. So you had to go like up this huge step and then down 3 small steps. It was just so So I had to go down there, go into the ground, and then take twine and tie these fucking things back. And you got a picture. There's like 50 of them, and they're like all bent over into my face, and I'm trying to like bear hug them and reach around, because you literally have to reach around, because you have to like push them up against the railing of the porch, and then tie them in little knots. And it was just, oh my god. And then she'd have me take the scissors and cut the fucking snowballs, because you didn't want them rotten. And then I had to go out there and snip. And I was like, oh, Jesus. And she said, no, Peter, cut it closer, Peter. And I'm like, oh god, because it was just one of those things. Like, I just want to sit there, not do anything, because I don't want to hurt my back, because I don't want to throw my back out, because if I throw my back out it hurts, and I kind of fear the pain. I want to avoid the pain as much as I can. And there's Graham, she sees me out there and oh, Peter, I got stuff for you to do, Peter. And I'm like, oh Jesus, Graham, no, don't have stuff for me to do. I'm not paid, sir. I'm not your paid help. Wait till one of the cousins get here. You pay them, they'll fucking snip those fucking things for you. They'll do it with a smile on their face, because they're getting paid. I ain't getting shit. Leave me be, Graham. Leave me be. And there she was, Peter, snip all these things. And it was like 100 of goddamn things too. There's huge bushes and shit. And I was like, dude, I'm like, Graham, I'm not a Mexican. I'm not your gardener. Okay, I'm not, some Puerto Rican. I'm not your gardener, Graham. Okay. I actually said that to her once. I said, Graham, I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm not your gardener. I don't know what you want. I've never done this before. You got to give me a break. Because it was one of those things, like, if it wasn't done the way she wanted, like, Peter, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right, Peter. Oh, my God. Oh, my Christ. It's like, I don't want to be an asshole, but it's like, I'm glad that doesn't exist anymore. I'm glad that time does not exist anymore. Which I hate to say that, because it basically insinuates, rightfully so, that I'm glad she's not here. Which is not what I mean, but it's what I mean, if you get what I mean. It's like, I'm not happy that she's dead, I'm just happy she's not in my shit. There's a difference. Oh, God. Oh my God. And then the times at the window, it's like, you gotta understand, when I would go out to get the freaking mail, my back was so fucked up that I could barely make it back. Like, there were a couple times I had to cross the road after getting the mail, cross the road, and then literally stand there and like try to straighten my back, like put one hand on my hip and like try to push up and like try to straighten my back out. And I needed to basically just get back to the house and sit down, like go out on the porch and sit down in the chair. Because you understand, by the time I got back into the house, I was like crawling almost, practically, like pulling myself. And then Graham would, like, Sixth Sense bullshit, would literally know when I'm at the fucking thing. She couldn't hear shit. She couldn't barely see shit. And guess what? The fucking minute I go get the mail, she knows I'm there instantly. She didn't hear me coming down, because like there were times I would try to go real slow and not make any fucking noise, and I know for a fact she didn't hear shit. Yet the minute I'm out there, boom, she's at that goddamn window. Peter, and she wants to tell me stuff and talk to me and have this conversation. And it wasn't even a conversation, it was just her talking and wanted me to listen. That's all it was. I'm like, Graham, I gotta sit down. I gotta really sit down. I wish I could listen to your story. but I need to sit down. And she didn't understand it. She didn't get that. And it was just, and it caused problems because she thought I was being mean. And it was like, Graham, I can't take that shit. I gotta sit the fuck down. Give me 10 minutes. I'll come back. You can tell me all your bullshit. Because this is what it was. It was all just complete bullshit. It wasn't like, oh my God, the house is on fire or, anything like this. It was like her biggest thing. She had this fucking thermometer. Had to have it. I don't know who the fuck gave it to her. I don't know why they gave it to her or why she felt she had to have it. But it was an indoor-outdoor thermometer. And what they would do, what Cousin Mary did, is she posted one of the things out by the fucking window. The one that she's conversing with me at. And what would happen, it would get, quote-unquote, catch the sun. It would catch the sun every morning. And Graham could not understand why one side of the house at 9 is one temperature, and then at noon it's a different temperature. Compared to the indoor. She couldn't understand that. She couldn't understand circulation of the sun. She couldn't understand that, okay, the sun is hitting it early in the morning, and now it's on the other side of the house. And she couldn't understand that. Like 1 minute it went from 72 degrees to like 76 degrees, and she can't understand it, and she wants to discuss it. And I'm like, Grandma, I don't give a fuck. As long as I ain't sweating my balls off, I don't give a fuck what temperature it is. As long as there ain't hailstones falling, I don't give a fuck what the weather does, quite frankly. So to sit there and you want to tell me that it's because you understand, it was like 72 inside, it was like 62 outside. Or no, actually it's probably the other way around. Shit. She would have it super. Oh, dude, it was so hot in there, especially toward later years. I mean, it would be like summertime. She'd have the heat. It'd be like 90 degrees. She'd have the heat on. That's no joke. She. Holy fuck, man! You go in there and you like your balls just bloop, shovel right up like fucking raisins. Like, imagine when it's like super cold and that happens. Well, imagine it's the other way around. It's just like it dehydrates your nuts. There's a difference. Like your testicles just go bloop. They suck up right up inside you. It's like, and that's the end of it. And she'd have the heat. She'd have like all the space heaters on. She'd have the heat going, and she'd, you're right, I spent like $300 on fuel. Like, no shit, Graham. No wonder it's 90 fucking degrees in here. Why don't you put a fucking little thrall on or something, or put a little blanket on you? Put some little shawls around you, or some shit. Like, holy crap! Like me, I don't like it hot at all. I don't like hot. I don't even like warm. I'd rather it be cool. You know what I'm saying? That's why I hate the fucking wintertime, because I have to turn off the air conditioner. And the air conditioner keeps the airflow going in this room, and you take it off for like 6 months. You understand, up here, upstate, holy shit. We're upstate. We're like as up as you're going to get. If we go any upper, we're going to be in Canada. Okay? And we have perpetual 6 months of fuck winter here. Like, it's the 3rd of November. I'm surprised it hasn't snowed yet. I'm surprised there's not snow out there right now, to be honest with you. It's like literally from November 1st to about April 4th. It's perpetual snow and perpetual winter and cold and rainy and shit. Just rancid fucking weather. Now, I like the winter necessarily, although I don't like super deep ass fuck snow, and I certainly don't like the fucking ice. I can tell you that right off the fucking bat. And trying to deal with Graham. Peter, did you get the mail today? I'm like, no, Grandma, I didn't go get the mail today because it's middle of February and the fucking driveway is sheer ice. I'm not risking my shit so you can get the fucking Daily Bugle. Okay, what are you, fucking Spider-Man? This is bullshit. Seriously, you don't need the Boonville Gazette that bad for me to fall and kill myself. Boonville Herald, that's what it was. Sorry, Boonville Gazette. Whatever the fuck the name of it was. I mean, because she didn't get her mail, she'd get pissy. She'd be like, Peter, I didn't get the mail today, Peter. I know, Graham, because I didn't go get it. Or like if I got it late, oh shit, dude. Like if it wasn't there by like 1 o'clock, I'd get a phone call. Ba-da-ding, ba-da-ding, ba-da-ding. Peter, did you get the mail, Peter? Like, no, I didn't get it, Graham. I wasn't feeling good today. I'll get it tomorrow. Oh, okay, Peter. Yeah, that's something you couldn't tell her you weren't feeling good because it was like, she'd want to give you some Pepto-Bismol, and it's like sometimes you just don't feel good because you're tired. You just don't feel good, in general. Not that you need Pepto-Bismol, okay? But like every time I was like, I'm tired, I don't feel good. Oh, here's some Pepto-Bismol. And Graham, that ain't gonna help. It's not an upset stomach. It's just because to her, I could break my leg and she'd want to give me Pepto-Bismol. It's like, here's some Pepto, Peter. Take a spoonful, Peter. Like, Graham, I don't need Pepto. That's not what this is. It's like, because sometimes you just don't feel good, especially when you're me and the shit that I gotta deal with. Sometimes, like I said, you just don't feel good. Like, sometimes you go to the bathroom or something and like, holy crap, sometimes it like just backs up and you just feel like, ugh, you just don't feel good. You don't want to leave the house, kind of a deal. And she's like, oh, Peter, it's some Pepto for you, Peter. It's like, oh, and then it was the fucking time. This is back when the old woman was still alive. Graham wanted to commission someone. Don't ask me why or what or how. She heard on the radio. Whatever these people were doing on the radio in upstate New York, Boonville, whatever they were doing, they need to stop. Because they're probably still doing it. Graham was convinced that when my mother got sick and she got cancer for the second time, and again, she heard this on the radio, that we needed to build a pyramid. No, hear the words. A pyramid in the backyard, and my mother was to go sit in it and meditate. And she was going to commission someone to come do this, and my mother was like, she's like, no, Graham, we don't need we're not doing a pyramid in the fucking house. Okay. And she's, energies. The spiritual, she's like, Peter, it's the spiritual energy of the earth, Peter. I heard it on the radio, and I'm like, Graham, what the fuck are you listening to on the radio? What kind of assholes are you listening to? This Kenny Young motherfucker. What is he telling you, Graham? No, she had blueprints, dude. She actually had blueprints made up of how to have this done. Like when we came up for Easter that year, or whatever holiday it was, Mother's Day maybe. She had fucking blueprints, like actual printed blueprints on like graph paper or whatever the fuck that is, and it was, and she's like, I'm gonna have him build this for you, and I'm like. Because like I wasn't really part of the conversation back then, because the old woman and Jean would, so I was kind of in the back. So I was kind of like Graham and I didn't really have a lot of connection up until, the only moment that I remember with my grandmother was the time I was out on the porch. I was out on the sun porch, and she comes out to have a smoke because she didn't want to smoke in front of everybody. And she came out and smoked in front of me, but that was okay. And she's telling me, I don't remember what the hell the conversation was about. It was something to the effect of, you got to help your mother now that she's sick. Like, you got to be a man, you got to stand up. She was giving me this pep talk. It wasn't really a pep talk, it was more of a lecture. Like, you got to help out around the house, you got to cook the dinner, which is stuff I always did. I always did that. I cooked dinner for like 20 years. I was 2 years old standing on a fucking chair frying eggs because my family was completely inept. I realized that, and I was like, God damn it, I gotta cook for myself. And I was literally 2 years old cooking on a fucking stove. Now, the only difference is I had it on high, and I didn't put any butter in the fucking pan. So I basically had a pan, and it was an egg, and it was like dry, and it wasn't, you learn from your mistakes. So she's telling me all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, sure, Graham. I hear you. I understand. And as she's getting all this shit off of her chest, if you will, I look out and I see two cows, a cow and a bull, and they are procreating. The bull is mounting the cow. It's like that Burger King commercial. The Whopper Jr.'s on the way, and the bull is mounting the cow. And there's that weird little music playing. Except there was no weird music. It was just Graham's voice. Peter, you have to be a man now, Peter. You have to help your mother. And I'm looking out into the field, and there's two cows mating. and they're humping, they're going to town, and they're like, boom, 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 boom. I mean, so there's like this intimate moment with my grandmother while in the background, or technically it was, you almost say the foreground, because it's like that's all you could see, were these two fucking cows. I mean, there was intimacy going on quite a bit here. This was really the only true memory that I remember. I had a couple memories when I was a kid. Like, I hated going there as a kid. I hated the night. I don't know what it was. Like, when it got dark and it was like time for bed, I did not like it. I hated it here. Like, to the point of crying, I want to go home. During the day, it was fine, but at night, it was just, oh my God. I had to sleep in that middle bedroom. Oh, it's just horrible. Anyways, so yeah, that was really the only memory that I had at Graham of my, like, adult life. She's having like this intimate conversation, or this she felt, and she was imparting wisdom and all this bullshit. And in the background was two humping cows. Actually, I don't think it was a bull. I don't even know what was a bull. Maybe there's been two cows rumping on each other. Actually, I think it had to be the bull. So there's this black, yeah, it was a black bull, because it didn't like have horns or anything like that. It looked like another cow. It was a male cow, basically. It's not like the traditional bull that you see, like the bullfighters with the big horns and the red capes. It wasn't that kind of a bull. This literally looked like a cow. It looked like two cows, and like two cows are humping each other. Which is what made it weird, because it's like, why is that cow humping another cow? And it's like, oh, it's not a cow, that's the bull. And it's like, well, where's his horns and shit? No, this is not that kind of bull. I don't know, it was bullshit, whatever it was. And then she comes back and wants to talk about the pyramid again. And I'm like, I was listening from a distance. I wasn't part of the conversation, thankfully. Thank God Christ, because I don't know, man. That's the type of shit that I had to deal with is just pyramids and human hair. This shit she found off the fucking radio. And I know there was more her eccentricies, whatever the fuck that word is, that she got from the fucking radio. She got from Kenny fucking Young, that asshole. And I say asshole because she's getting this shit from him and all these other people in the local area. You're steering old people into make pyramids for cures of cancer, to get in tune with the mystical energies of the earth. And they were going to put on like a fault line in the backyard. They're going to get like survey equipment and stuff and try to find like some sort of fault line. Now, I don't know what it was. I don't know if fault line is the right word, but I'm going to say fault line because it was basically an earthquake ready to happen. And apparently one ran right through our yard or some fucking thing. I have no idea. Some spiritual line of energy ran through our fucking backyard. Apparently something was running through our yard. I'll tell you that much, but that's neither here nor there. It has smell to it too, by the way, whatever. And Graham was convinced she's gonna make this fucking pyramid, and then every day after work the old woman was supposed to go sit in there for an hour. Like Indian style with like Zen Buddha, like home kind of bullshit. And my mother's like, Graham, don't waste fucking, because this is going to be like $10,000. I mean, it was like some idiotic fucking amount of money to have this shit happen. And my mother's like, Graham, don't fuck with the money like that. Don't waste the money. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. And they finally convinced her not to do it. But we were like on the cusp of having a fucking pyramid built in their fucking yard. And we're not talking like a teepee. We're talking like an actual physical fucking pyramid. Like, I mean, oh my God. And it's hard to say she wasn't insane. It's hard to say she wasn't senile, dude. Between human hairs and pyramids, you get... Anyways, that's going to be the clip for today. Oh, Jesus, dude. I don't even know where to go with this anymore. So you know what? I'm done with this. Fuck you. Holy shit. Human hair, Peter. Bag of human hair, Peter.